There's like a glare. Hi. I think I'm shadow banned right now on Instagram. I've been noticing that when you search my name, you have to put in my whole name. So make sure that you're following me and you're liking all those posts and like boosting them and stuff and giving comments and stuff. Oh, I'm really tired and my makeup is a mess. So I have like a little filter on right now. And yeah, I'm okay. I actually saw this comment and I was like, I want to show you guys because I literally don't know what this means. Because my house is like literally not 1990s. And someone said I had a 90s aesthetic, like stuck in the 90s aesthetic. And I'm like, my house was built in 2013. All my decorations and everything I buy in my house is definitely not from the 90s. Like when I think of the 1990s, I think of like lava lamps and bean bags and like black lights and Nirvana pictures and shag carpeting and not. So I just have to ask, what is a 90s aesthetic? Is that like, what does that mean? I mean, no, that she's not actually a troll. No, because when I was, okay, so that was not the 70s. Oh my gosh, that was not the 70s. It was not the 70s at all. I was a kid in the 90s and we had lava lamps and we had black lights. Like legit, that's what we had so I'm not remembering my childhood because in the 90s we had lava lamps and we had black lights. I know that they were in the 70s, but they came back in the 90s. It's a vibe. How am I stuck in the 90s? That's actually offensive if you think about it. Like that would be like I didn't actually like evolve from the 1990s. I'm not saying that do you guys literally just come on here okay, first off, I'm going to turn off comments. When I say 1990s, I'm just going to be real honest here. I grew up in the 90s. I graduated high school in the 90s. I know what the 90s aesthetic is. I know lava lamps were not developed in the 70s, but I'm telling you, they were really popular in the 90s. So was flannel. So were Doc Martens, so were pencil thin eyebrows, so were waif models, so was Calvin Klein underwear where you showed like the Calvin Klein like underwear stuff thing. So were high-waisted jeans and like big baggy t-shirts and color block. Like that was the 90s. That doesn't mean it started in the 90s. That's just what was popular in the 90s. Alternative rock, Doc Martens, baby doll t-shirts, baby doll dresses, 90210 bullshit. Like, so I'm sitting here going like, how am I stuck in the 90s? Because literally, like, if you look at my wardrobe, definitely not 90s. I actually get so annoyed when I see 90s clothes coming back because I'm like, oh God, that's like my childhood. I don't want to go back to my childhood. And I'm like, is it because of what's on my wall? Because what's on my wall, I bought only a few years ago. Like the 90s are back right now. I know the clothing is, and I buy my clothes off Lulu's. So is my vibe because of what I've been buying for my clothes? I don't know. No one's ever told me that I've been trapped in a decade before. I don't even really listen to 90s music. Okay, so I can turn back on the comments, but I just had to get that out. I just wanted to know, yeah, all that same stuff is coming back. Yeah, so like acid wash, those were like in the late 80s. I don't have the bright, airy aesthetic. No, because I'm not a minimalist. So like minimalism or whatever is like super trendy. And so is like the people that do boho. And I'm not boho, like at all. So like if you want to come to my vibe and see like boho chic, like you're going to be at Magnolia or something, that's not me. I don't want to have like an all white background. Do you know how boring that is? I'm definitely not boho. I don't really have a style. I'm just whatever. I know, but like I don't have a 90s vibe. That's just a weird thing to say. Like even my room isn't decorated like the 90s. My home reminds me of a Spanish villa. That's how I wanted to design it. Like I'm big into wrought iron. Okay, you know what? My husband's even going to annoy me tonight. I hate when I'm just trying to say and like people are constantly like correcting me. I'm crabby tonight, by the way. So if people want to like save this and like bring this on later. So it's been a really like agitating week for me, I'm not going to lie. There's been a lot of really just unnecessary things being said about me. And listen, I don't care if people talk about me, but like right now, what is actually being said about me is so offensively wrong. And like people are, for some reason, dictating this narrative about me that is so astronomically false. And if I say anything, like I'm getting destroyed. And so like, I'm not losing tons of subscribers or anything like that. It's just really weird to me that really small things are making people like aggravated about me when I've not changed what I've done at all. You know, like nothing's changed at all. Todd Chrisley is still suing me for baseless, frivolous allegations. And people are continuously acting like this lawsuit is meaningful when it's not. And I've unfortunately had to respond to like the stupid stuff that keeps being said about me. And they're acting like this is something that's like a big deal when it's really not. It's annoying is what it is. It's annoying and it's expensive. And I'm not a minimalist at all, actually. I mean, I don't like clutter. That's 100% true. But if you saw my house, that's definitely not. But it's like this narrative right now where everyone wants to make these videos like I'm like a liar and it's like this. It's like every single time, the minute you stop caring, you start growing. Okay, I understand that. But at the same time, like, I don't really care what people say about me. I'm just telling people that like, I don't understand the obsession. Like, if you're trying to spread nastiness about me because you want to build your channel, whatever. There's plenty of channels that their entire channels are about me. But to like just make up stupid lies, I don't understand. Like, for me, when I'm... yeah, so I was actually thinking about this week. If you don't like me so much that you will go on the wrong side of a story just to prove your point, that's so disturbing to me. Like, if you saw people being very publicly, wouldn't you want to say something but not make the person that's calling them out so I'm the abuser because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna turn off comments again because I just want to like vent here. So, and I'm not trying to be rude, you guys. I'm just trying to process this and I don't want to be rude to my commenters because I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. But I'm just factually saying something that if you are so against me that you'll be against what's actually happening to people that's like or hurting them or harmful to them, it actually hurts my heart to think that you think that that these people are not being like, that hurts my heart. I don't care that you think that I'm lying. It hurts my heart that you actually hate me so much that you're ignoring what's happening to other people. You can actually not like someone but still not disagree with their take. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of conservative pundits that I'm not a conservative. I don't care if you are, but if I'm like, say I'm like listening to politics, just giving you an example. I don't have to like agree with everything they say, but I'm not going to disagree with everything they say just because they're a conservative, right? So just because someone who's a conservative says something doesn't mean they automatically are constantly lying all the time. There's plenty of times that I'm listening to a political person and it's like a Republican and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good take, you know, whatever. Or say if it's someone who is religious and I'm not a religious person, they could still have a good take on something and I'm not going to hate them just because they're a religious person. You know, like if your life is so dictated around hating someone to the extent that you can't actually see the truth, it's like that concerns me about this society, is that people that are reporting on stories are being villainized for actually reporting on what's happening instead of getting mad at the people for what's happening, right? If you're angry about what is happening, don't the messenger for reporting on the story, right? And what I was doing and what I have been doing with the Shekinah story is to try to keep it relevant. It's not an obsession. It's just in the world of social media, you have to keep stories relevant or else they go away. And if there's family members that are affected and they feel like they're affected and there's plenty of stories and there's plenty of people that have come out publicly now that you know that this is not affecting just one person, do you ignore that? Or do you keep fighting for those those people, even if they don't feel like they need to be fought for. What if you were trapped in a situation, and just put yourself in this position? Like, what if you had no one fighting for you and you didn't know that you needed someone to fight for you? Do you get mad at the person that's fighting? Or would you at some point in time realize that that person fighting for you had your best intentions the whole time and that they weren't there to hurt you? It's not popular to speak up for people, and it's definitely not popular to boldly speak out for people. It's controversial. It hurts people's platforms. It hurts people's reputations. It's why influencers don't speak up. They don't want the controversy. And I get it. Like, I'm taking the lumps and the hits and the heat. I'm seeing people unsubscribe from my YouTube channel. I'm seeing negative comments about how I'm doing this or I'm doing that. But it's like no different to me than with the Josh Duggar story. Is people said I was a liar and I was doing this and I was doing that and I was wrong. And then he got arrested and now he's incarcerated and I wasn't wrong. People just didn't want to see it. So just try to disassociate yourself or disconnect from the narrative that someone else is creating. A lot of reality stars, a lot of celebrities want to control a narrative. And I'm not playing narratives. I'm just reporting on what I find. And so I can only report based on the documents, the public records, the interviews. I can't ignore those. And just because it doesn't match the reality doesn't make me the bad guy. I would be more concerned if I was the person that was consuming that was being lied to, and being lied to for, like, every person that's on a platform that's lying to you is profiting off of that. And that's disingenuous. And the one thing that these people will come to me with is they'll say that you're the liar, Katie. No, I'm not a liar. Do I change my opinions? Yes. Do I sometimes make mistakes and have to correct stories? Yes. Happens all the time in this world, especially in the world of fast news. Have I been sued? Yes. Lots of media outlets are sued. I'm an easy target because I'm an independent blogger or journalist who has me my legal team, my business manager, like, that's my team. That's it. And so if someone's going to target someone to try to bully them or like get them to be silent, they're going to go after the low person on the totem pole. They're not going to go after the Sun. They're not going to go after In Touch. They're not going to go after the big media outlets because they're going to assume that I don't have the legal capacity to handle it. Getting sued does not mean that you've done anything wrong. It can, but honestly, in the world of reporting, more often than not, getting sued means someone wants you to shut up and they want to use your money. They want to like get you to like have to spend money, have to waste time so that you stop talking about them. It happens all the time. Celebrities are notorious for filing baseless lawsuits against people so that reporting will stop. Literally, in the world of the defamation world, nobody wins these cases. It's next to impossible to prove unless you're blatantly lying. I know that Tasha K lost one against Cardi B, but she blatantly lied. And she admitted on, I think, in her testimony to fabricating and falsifying stories. Like, if you're flat out falsifying stories, yes, you should be sued. But if you are reporting based on what's out in the public, it's hard to prove defamation because you're also allowed to have an opinion in the United States called free speech. So someone getting sued does not mean they're automatically a liar. It just means that you've pissed someone off that has money. And there's a lot of people right now that have a lot to lose, and I'm just like the easy target. So I have had to, for months, stay silent about the situation with the Chrisleys. And listen, to this day, I don't have anything like, I don't hate them. I simply reported on a story and I became friends with their daughter. And now I'm being sued for statements that were made from years ago across multiple platforms. I actually was online looking at interviews. There was probably more than a dozen interviews on the same topic, spanning months and months and months. I didn't add anything new to the story. Like, I read articles about things that his son said. I had opinions. Like, everyone gets to have an opinion. My crime in this specific case was that I was friends with his daughter. And for some reason, I believe he thinks that I have information that will help his criminal case. And I don't. So there was filings that were done this week, and he's saying that we're not cooperating with his discovery. The problem is that all of his discovery is about his daughter. And I have been for months trying to protect her. So yes, I was hurt when I saw her post and she referred to me as that YouTuber because we were friends, and I haven't talked to her in months, and I miss her, and I still think she's a wonderful person, and I would never want to hurt her. I wish I wasn't in the situation that I was in, and I wish she wasn't in the situation that she was in, and I wish that he would just leave her alone. I don't have any ill will towards her. I think she's in an impossible position. I'm just hurt because I care about her a lot, and I don't ever want to hurt her, ever. And that means that if somebody's using their platform or the lawyers to try to get evidence against someone that could be a witness in your case, I'm not going to just give it up. Like, it's not even relevant. The stuff that's being asked for is not relevant. And we had to, first of all, he's filing these baseless things in this lawsuit. The lawsuit has no standing, right? There's no claims here, nothing. And he's acting like we're not cooperating with discovery. We have handed over discovery, but we've also filed a motion to dismiss. Okay, I'm sure my lawyer is going to be hating me right now for talking about this, but I'm so sick of being quiet about it. We filed a motion to dismiss, and then as soon as we filed the motion to dismiss, he sends us a letter for discovery, and it's all about her. Why is he so interested in discovery about his daughter? It doesn't make sense. I mean, he wants all of our communication. Isn't that weird? I don't feel like handing over private communication with someone that has nothing to do with him. I mean, doesn't that seem kind of violating? It does to me. And it's irrelevant because we weren't talking about him. And what if she's a witness in his case? Then what is he going to do with that information? Like, he can go on his platform and he can play the victim, and he can say that he's being persecuted by the media and by his business partner and how his kids turned him in, and he can blame everyone, and he can sling mud, and he can make all of his podcasts about me, and he can try to get everyone to sue me, and he can me, and he can threaten me on his podcast and say he's going to destroy me if I don't give him what he wants. But I'm not the one that's facing a 12-count indictment and potentially up to 30 years in prison. And when he's in the middle, there was a pretrial conference yesterday, and one of the motions that was filed by the government was that he was not giving them discovery. And another thing that they were concerned about was him using evidence to impeach witnesses. So they were afraid that he was going to be trying to extrapolate information about people that were called for the government as witnesses to try to impeach them on the stand so that they weren't credible. So I saw that in the motion, and I was like, and then we get a discovery request from him. So that's kind of where we're at. And I'm sure this video is going to cause 37 more emails from him, 27 more podcasts where he calls me all kinds of names and says I'm a liar. But Todd has 3 active cases right now, not just me. He's literally suing everyone. That's my opinion. And then he also has this case where he is facing 30 years in prison. And I don't know why he thinks this, but he somehow in one of it seems implied that he believes that I had some sort of relationship with his daughter before I ever met her, because I don't know anything about his case until after he was indicted. So it's it just seems well, I'm not cooperating with discovery. Well, technically we're trying to get this dismissed. And also technically we do have a right to request that there be a delay on this until your criminal trial is under wraps. Because if you're trying to use a civil case to litigate your criminal case, that's kind of a problem, in my opinion. And we don't want to hurt any witnesses for the government. I don't want to get in the middle of a criminal case. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't hate Lindsay, care about her a lot. I never would want to hurt her in a million years. And I'm sorry that this is what's going on in her life. And I'm sad that I was called that YouTuber and that I was told like not to talk about her, but I can't control the situation that I'm in. Like the entire lawsuit is about her. So how do you avoid it? It sucks. So just have some empathy for her, man. Like, I don't know, she can hate me all she wants and say whatever she wants, but like, I just feel sad for her. I feel sad for the situation she's in because no kid should have to be in that position. And I'm not gonna I'm not gonna turn on someone just because someone's trying to bully me, in my opinion, to get what they want. I mean, I was looking through court records. Do you know in like one county in Georgia, I think there was over 30 lawsuits that have been filed by him or against him. I was like, and that's just in one county in Georgia. There's like dozens in the federal court. There's multiple in other counties in South Carolina. I mean, he has bragged that he just likes to file lawsuits for sport, just to bother people. Like that's someone that, in my opinion, is the legal system. So when people cheer someone on that abuses the legal system, you're like, really? My opinion. So much like he has his opinion and can go on his podcast and talk incessantly about me, like I get a right to respond. I also have no ill feelings towards Lindsay. So if you want to make drama, there's none. I have empathy for her. And I'm also just sad because I feel like I lost a friend. That's it. I'd really appreciate like everybody to just like chill out and like, I'm not the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy that people are trying to make me out on YouTube. If you like everything I do right now, I feel like I just like watch my subscriber count and it's like up 10, down 5, up 10, up down 5. And I'm not losing anything like even remotely, like it's negligible in terms of like the numbers. But like every single person that tunes out because of something false just makes my heart hurt. Like, oh my God, I hate drama. Most of you guys know that I hate drama. I don't want to be in this situation at all. All I wanted was to help a friend and I wanted to fight for some people that were what appears to be in a cult. And if that makes me a bad person, I'm sorry. I'd rather be a bad person fighting for other people than someone that fights against someone who fights for other people. Like I read this one woman's Instagram page and she said she would not be happy until my entire platform was destroyed. And I thought, what is it that I do that it bothers you so much? And her name was Lori Carter. And I remember thinking, Lori Carter, why do you hate me so much? Like, what did I do to you that I need to have my entire platform removed? I don't even want the Duggars platform removed. Like, I have never called for their YouTubes to be canceled or for their Instagrams to go down. Like, I would never want someone's platform to be taken away from them unless they're doing something egregious. But like, you won't be happy until I'm destroyed. But if I were to ever say that about someone else, I'm sure Lori would call me evil, right? It's like that little weird space we live in. And also, I did say last week that there was some YouTubers that might have gotten the lawsuit from illegally. And I think I was sick and wasn't feeling good. So I'm sorry if like those YouTubers got it through the court system. I was wrong on that. But factually, I know that there was at least one person that did post the lawsuit when it wasn't filed in court. And factually, I know that person had to have got it from the group because factually the group was following them. So I'm not going to personally apologize to every YouTuber because I don't even know who was making videos about it. And I'm also not going to personally apologize to YouTubers that I don't like or have feelings about. You don't have to unsubscribe to someone because of how I feel about someone. And conversely, like, I wouldn't want anyone to unsubscribe to me because she doesn't like me or whatever. Like, it's just, in this world, if someone's going to talk about you, you do have a right to respond. And that doesn't mean that we have to live in a world where like you unsubscribe to someone and take someone's side. Like, nobody's jealous. I believe everyone has a place on YouTube. Everyone should be able to be successful. I just want to exist in a world where like we're not trying to other's careers when we're doing the same job. Like, I don't want to hurt anyone's career that's trying to do this job. It's cutthroat. Okay, I'm gonna turn on comments. All right. There's glares. Oh, I love you. I did need that. I just want fairness and I don't like lying and just exactly. Thank you. You have a right to freedom of speech and to disagree. It is the glitter filter. Yeah, it's like on my face. I'm just sad, like, when I see people, like, unsubscribe over stupid, petty stuff. Like, why would you unsubscribe over someone because I had a bad moment or someone sued me? That doesn't really mean anything. Like, do you know how many lawsuits the Kardashians have? Like 1 million. You know, it's really ironic. That's interesting, Desi. She said, they get excited about defamation, yet defame you every day. So I was having this conversation with my legal team about the directions to go with the people that harass me like that. And I'm not of the opinion that you sue people that are like that, because you never win those cases. And it's like whack-a-mole. So what? You sue one creator that says shit about you, and then what? 2 minutes later, it's another creator. It never solves anything. You know, being able to speak to each other would be better. Like, there's times where I'm like, I would just like to reach out to these creators and be like, what did I do to you? Like, what exactly do you hate about me? But then I know that I can't, because if I talk to them, they'll just use it as content, and then they'll just call me names. I'm glad I love all of my subscribers. It just hurts when people unsubscribe because you love every single one that subscribes, you know? Well, I try to take accountability when I can. Well, I feel like I'm getting hit. Yeah, they don't want to ever mend fences. I've learned that. My husband also said that in this industry, there's a lot of backstabbing. It's a lot easier to throw someone under the bus than it is to stand by someone. And you're not really friends with people. That's the hard part, is you think you make friends and then you're not really friends. Like, it hurts. I don't want to hate on anyone. I don't even want to hate on the Duggars. Well, my husband's not in the room, so I don't know what you're agreeing with him about. No, she said I agree with your husband. I don't know. My husband's upstairs though. This week has just been so, I don't know, I'm just in a funk. I'm just so emotional this week. Yeah, the entertainment world is very fickle. So like, the minute if you're friends with someone, you're like friends with them as long as you're benefiting them. And I'm not saying that that's like how every single person is. I'm just saying that, like, in general, you'll see a lot of people that it's like, as long as you're benefiting them, it's fine. But the minute you cause controversy or are negative to their brand, they're like, bye. Oh yes, there is a lot of backstabbing. I'm sorry. Oh yes, there is a lot of backstabbing in this field, 100%. It's hard. And it's hard to be a female journalist. Like, we're easier targets. Yeah. Like, if you had a friend that you're just like shooting the with about like your kids, do you really think that that's like privy to like their dad having access to that? Like, that's just so weird to me. Like, if I didn't report on it, why do you need it? You don't. You just don't. I just feel sad for the kids, to be honest. Criminal trials in the US government are like very hard to win. So once a federal government comes for you and you have like an indictment, it's really hard to win. Like 90% of people that are indicted by the federal government end up taking plea deals. They have a 93% conviction rate. The chances of getting out of federal charges are slim to none. When the US government is bringing charges against you, they have a lot of evidence. And they have a rock solid case, generally, and it's not easy to win. So I was looking through their recent filings, and like, they have so much evidence. And like I said, they've pled not guilty. Nobody's saying that they did this. They've pled not guilty, but like, if I was someone that was facing those kinds of charges, that's what I would be focusing on, not this other stuff. And I'll be the first to admit, I just hope that whatever the resolution is the just resolution. And I hope that here's my hope, is if he was framed, I hope that they find him innocent. But if he's guilty, I hope that they found him guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to be like, Todd Chrisley, I think you're a horrible person. Like, all I was doing was reporting on stories. Like, that was it. I feel like no one reports on it because he sues people. Like, look at me, I'm getting sued. This will be used against me. I'll have like 5 emails from my attorneys tomorrow. No. Most of my Chrisley stuff is like, I haven't talked about them in a very long time. I don't make videos about them on YouTube. It's been a long time. It's a serious criminal case, though. I'm like, why is no one talking about this? Like, remember when Mike the Situation was like, going? I heard my own attorneys trying to silence me. No. I mean, first of all, my legal team, I wouldn't ever tell you guys like what my attorneys tell me, because that would be attorney-client privilege. But my legal team, which encompasses more than attorneys, no. I can say whatever I want to say. It's been a long time since I've even made a video about him. Yeah, I don't talk about it because to me it just feels like a fight not worth fighting. Not only that, is I didn't want to make Lindsay, I didn't want to add unnecessary stress to her. Unfortunately, now I'm in a situation where it's like I've had to respond. Well, some people don't want you to speak about them, but that doesn't mean that they have a right to say that you can't speak about them. If they're a public figure and they have a public platform and they're of a public interest, that's why journalism exists. Sometimes I just wish there would be people that would actually stick up for me. Like literally never, I never see that. Like nobody ever sticks up for me. I'm just like everyone's person to hate. So that's why I stay to myself. I've never seen YouTubers rarely ever stick up for me. Everyone deems me like toxic and they all hate me. So that's fine. Nothing I can do about it. I actually don't mind uncivil law. I've spoken to him. I actually talked to him a couple days ago. We talked about the Tati Westbrook lawsuit. And there's a huge, okay, first of all, I just want to say something. There's this huge misinformation about the settlement with Tati and I. We both can talk about the misinformation that is spread. We both, as a part of our settlement, have a right to defend ourselves against the negative and false information that is spread about the lawsuit. Both sides can. So when someone starts talking about the lawsuit and it's wrong, I can actually defend myself, and that's not a violation of our settlement agreement, because I'm not disparaging her. I'm not disparaging anyone. During the Tati Westbrook lawsuit, my legal team only liked Uncivil's take. I will say that. They were not thrilled with other people's takes because it was just a messy lawsuit. There was so much misinformation. There was so many people filing depositions that never should have been filing depositions, like trolls that that inserted themselves into the lawsuit. It was such a mess that the settlement actually was good because he destroyed Charlotte. Listen, I don't have anything to say about Charlotte. I have stuck up for her when she has been doxxed. I have stuck up for her when she has been harassed. I stuck up for her when she was getting death. I have never, ever been rude about her. She is very stuck on me, and it's weird. And I think her video quality isn't very good, if I'm being honest. Like, that's the only reason why I would never watch a video by her, is because her video quality isn't good. And she says I'm all about the money, which is so weird, because it's like, if she knew like the money that I make on some of the stories, she'd be like, oh, no. I don't like Charlotte's video quality. That's all. I don't watch her videos. Someone sent me one of her videos once, and I just didn't like how she was not positioned correctly on the screen, and it wasn't good quality. That was it. Like, that was my only critique. I was like, well, if she got a better camera and she was better positioned in the frame, maybe I would take her more seriously. Listen, I talk about the Duggars, so I understand, like, once you have a topic, you talk about it. The difference between talking about me all day and talking about the Duggars is there's like 50,000 Duggars. Like, seriously, there's 19 kids. There's like, how many grandkids now? 30? 20? So you got 50 kids almost between grandkids and kids and parents. And then you got in-laws. It is how I make a living. It is not my hobby. Tonight's video of, I had 1 glass of wine, I guess, if that makes me drunk. If you show me support, I don't know, like leave me nice comments on my videos, and don't get into fights with these other channels. With today's videos, it was different than like my current trends and topics. What I wanted to do today for my videos was I was trying to go back in time, because a lot of times with my topics, I like to like revisit things. And my video about the Duggars, about Josh and the advice that he gave, I actually thought was a really good video because it wasn't like gossipy. I was actually reading a book that's written by an author that's horrible advice that's given to people. And it's like, it just helped reinforce this idea that like, if you're in this world and you're constantly being told as a woman that you're property, that when your husband does something wrong, you won't disagree with them. I saw the Without a Crystal Balls. She was actually commenting about my weight, which I thought was really funny. So she said that before I was like underweight because I was on my Adderall. She's very concerned about my Adderall. To which I say, if you have ADHD and you need to take an Adderall, go for it. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm not a pill addict. When I first started medication for Adderall, I did lose a lot of weight, and I lost a lot of weight very fast. And my doctors and I had to work on making sure that I ate, because when you first start taking these medications, it's an appetite suppressant. And so you have to learn how to eat when you're on the medication, which in the last few years, I've learned how to eat. So I lost like 40 pounds, and I was very thin like 3 years ago. And now I'm at a much healthier weight. And it's not because I'm a pill addict. It was because of starting a new medication. So yeah. But they said that I was gaining weight because I'm lazy and I drink wine all day. And I was like, oh my God, like the 3 glasses of wine I have in a week. Wow. But it's sad because if you express how you're feeling and you share that you have a mental health disorder or you have a mental illness, and then you get help for that, then you're ridiculed for being on pills. But it is, if you start medication for ADHD, it's very common to lose a lot of weight. So you have to learn how to eat. I would like lose 5 pounds in a day, and it was like, what the hell is happening here? So, and if I literally forget to eat, that can happen. So I have to be very conscious about eating. And I have to eat a lot more than I would normally eat. I would rather be taking my medications and doing what I need to do than not be medicated and making fun of someone for being medicated. But even when I lost all that weight, I was still not underweight. But during the day, it's very easy for me not to eat because it's like you're not hungry. You have to learn to eat on this med. I don't get hyperfocus anymore, not on the Adderall. That's the other thing, is people say that I hyperfocus on stories. With the 7M story, it wasn't a hyperfocus. It was literally a strategic decision to keep the story relevant. It wasn't hyper focus. It was like using social media to an advantage to make sure that a story stayed relevant. Now with the 7M story, I'm not putting things out on my Instagram because people are stealing my work, not crediting me, and trying to make productions based on my journalism. And I just think that's really like low class. Like, I have production companies now reaching out to people through my comments on videos when they know full well that I'm working on something. It's just so tacky. Like, so you're going to take my work, take the relationships I've built because you are glomming onto a project for money. To me, this isn't a story about money. It's a story about people that I believe are being violated and having their human rights violated. And to me, I want to tell that story in a way that honors those people that have been hurt and make sure that the people that are doing those things are held accountable. I don't look at this as a money grab to go onto someone's Instagram and try to get those contacts from that person and not have to do the work. It's not media outlets that are doing that. It's production companies that are doing that. It's very cutthroat. So right now we're working on things behind the scenes to do something broader than what I can do on my Instagram, while also keeping private some of the people involved so that we can deliver you something that'll be impactful to help the people involved. I don't know. I know that there's an article coming out early next week with New York Magazine. All right, I have to go. I'm very tired, and we're working on it. Just be nice to people. I don't hate anyone. There's no drama. Everything's great. I don't want to fight with people. I want to live in a world where people are fair to each other, not backbiting. And I don't want my subscribers or followers to live in that world either.